This is a update on the Greenjoy hydroponic grow box. Here you can see I've got the seedlings transferred into it now. Last video I planted the seeds in this little tray here, and I tried doing a time lapse photo of it, but it didn't work out good. My GoPro only takes a shot every minute, and it just turned out that I had like 32 gigabyte of photos to sort through, and they really didn't show much. So, this is just a little bit of it, but I aborted the rest of it, so I have to get a better camera for that kind of stuff. But here we are. This is just about exactly a week after. There it is. You can see the GoPro there. A week after I put the seeds in the those little cubes there. You can see they finally do have enough, some of them at least, have enough roots sticking out to transfer them to the box. So I'm going to start by mixing up the nutrients, and I've using my wife's big 1 liter measuring cup. It does a quart on one side or 1 liter on the other. So you start with 4 liters of clean, fresh water. And I'm just using my tap water right now. I have to get some better testing equipment later. And then there's the nutrient A that you have to add first, and you need 40 milliliters of this. They give you a little measuring cup, and the nutrient does come with the kit. So you just have to measure it out, and that's just, I'm going to do two 20 milliliter dumps there. And then what you have to do is you have to just kind of stir this one in good. Now the light's been on in this for the last couple of days. I've just had it running with the light, but there's a little low water indicator that flashes all the time, the actual button on it. So now that should go out. So there I'm adding 4 more liters of water now after adding that first nutrient. And right about there the low water indicator goes out. You can see the pump starts kicking in and bubbling a little bit there. So now I have 8 liters of water in the reservoir there. And then there's a nutrient B here that I'm going to add another 40 milliliters of that. So some little markings on the cup. A little bit tough to see, but you just have to dump that in there and then mix it up. So that's got, getting that in there now. And the seedlings actually were kind of slow to germinate. I think it's because the house was it's been pretty cold at night and stuff lately. We don't have the wood stove running yet, so next time I'm going to try using one of my heat mats underneath that little starting chamber to see if that helps. So here I've got both of the nutrients added in there, and now you have to mix it up. And apparently they will not absorb properly if you add them both at the same time. So you really have to add one and follow the instructions. And there's some little green markers on there. I actually should have them both on the same side, but they have to be between those marks, and then you have the correct level. And then these little trays just snap back in there once you have the nutrient in, and they clip in there, and you just have to make sure that they're down flat, and they actually hold the cups with the seedlings in them. And apparently this nutrient does have to be checked at least once a week, and you have to add some to it as the plants consume it. So that's something else that you have to keep an eye on. Now here we are with the seedlings themselves. You can see they've got, I don't know, maybe a little bit over an inch of root sticking down now underneath them on most of the plants. And those little foam blocks just break apart, and they are a consumable that actually gets tossed out at the end of the cycle. So I'm going to have to find another source for them, it looks like, for the next batches. But you want to make sure that the roots stick down through the bottom of that basket, and they will be touching the water. So these are the purple bok choys first, and they really had the longest roots and the fastest germination, which bok choy always does basically. And I use those little tweezers to actually help get the roots down. And then they put in a couple of cilantro seeds, and they actually did not germinate at all. They just got kind of moldy, actually, it looks like, and didn't germinate. So I must have done something wrong, or maybe it was just too cold. And then the basil actually germinated, but it did not send the roots out yet. So the basil has to sit for a couple more days. But I'm just going to go on to the lettuce here then. You can see that's got the roots going down, and the little tweezers, if you carefully work with them, you can, get it through that hole in the center there. So, you take your time and just make sure the roots are going down through the holes, and you have to make sure that they do touch that solution. So it's really, it's really pretty simple, and it's pretty amazing how the roots do grow like that. And then you just have to drop them in the cup and then drop it in the unit there. And once these little seedlings are in the actual box itself, there's basically nothing you have to do. Lights automatically go on and off, and the pump runs, and the fans run, and everything is automatic on it. We found that you get about 14 hours of light on, and then 10 hours off. And these here have to go a little bit longer, but so here it is. The seedlings are finally in the box here, and that was exactly 1 week after I had started them, and everything's running now. And I did order a pH meter on Amazon, but it turned out that when I opened it up, it had dead batteries. I looked in the battery compartment, and they had leaked on the circuit board. But I tried putting fresh batteries in anyway and running it, and it turned out that I was getting like all these crazy readings on it, and it just wouldn't get a reading. So here I am just struggling to try to get a reading, but it didn't work at all. I contacted the vendor, and they are sending another one out. So hopefully next video I'll be able to verify exactly what the pH is on my solution there. Because you do have to make sure that that's in the right range to have success with these units. And there it is in distilled water. You can see it's like running all over the place. So it definitely was a damaged unit from the batteries leaking, it looks like. And the switches didn't work on it or anything either. So that should be replaced, and hopefully I'll get a good one next time. So I just stuck the basil seeds back in there to, see if they'll get long enough roots to maybe swap them out with some lettuce later. But there it is. Everything's starting to grow, and here we are today, the next day. And you can see actually the plants are really, you can see some difference in the growth there. So, they really are going, and I'll do an update video once they, do get a little bit larger. And there's my batch of wine for this year, sitting there bubbling away, and, hopefully I'll have some wine soon. And these boxes are listed on Amazon now, and actually they're $199, but Greenjoy did give me a discount code for my viewers so that they can use this code and they can save 30% on it and buy them for $139 right now. And it's good till the end of this month. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.